Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and it is Tuesday. And it is chilly. 4 degrees Canadian, 39 American. So, and I believe that the temperatures are going to drop quite a bit more in the next couple of days. So, chilly is definitely where it's at. Might have to dig out the coat any minute now. The real coat, you know, the winter coat as opposed to the fall coat. So I'm dealing with a certain level of frustration, and I'd like to give you my sincere apologies. For some reason, my uploads are not going well at all. I've spent the last 2 nights trying to upload 2 different videos, and it all uploads, but when it goes into processing, it doesn't process. I don't know. I don't want that to be too technical for you, but you know, it's like, let me try and explain this. You make the vlog like this, then you edit it, then you splice all the bits together so it makes one movie. Makes sense? Then you save that, and then you upload that to YouTube, and then YouTube processes it. Makes sense? Well, the upload's going fine, it's the processing that's not working. And I don't know what's happening. I've written to YouTube to ask them, because it is very, very frustrating, and I know that some of you will take this very personally. So just understand this is beyond my control at the moment. I'm trying to get it fixed, and I'm sure I will. I'm sort of, even on the forums, trying to find out what the possible answers might be. But in the meantime, no, I'm as frustrated as you are not getting any vlogs. But the good news is, when it all gets sorted out, then you'll have lots of vlogs that you can watch, which doesn't help you today, I know. But again, it's an exercise in do what you can, and you can't do more than that. So, as frustrated as I was getting last night, on my second night of trying to get video up that wouldn't work, eventually, you know, you just go, there's an error somewhere. I rebooted 6 times to Friday, you know what I mean? I did all the classical things that you can think of. So that's why I know it's not something simple, it's something else. And I got some feedback from the forum this morning. Too late for me to do anything about it, but to actually try uploading from a different browser, because that may work. Now, that doesn't make any logical sense to me, because the problem is not the upload. The problem is the processing. So, but it's worth a try, so I will try that this evening. But to go back to the process, because that's what we keep talking about, you know, how do you stop it affecting your life? Do I think there are going to be some people that are upset with me because I haven't uploaded? Yep, I'm sure there will be. And, you know, they will either say, no, that it's Sal, she'll do everything she can to upload a vlog. If you know that about me, then you know me well. And if I haven't uploaded a vlog on a day that I normally would, then you know there's been a problem. And it's a problem that either is beyond my control or something I'm unable to fix. That's knowing your people. So I go back to this whole issue from how do I control it? Because am I frustrated? Sure I am. Frustrated as all get up. Because I don't like not being able to put up the vlogs, because I'm going to end up with a backlog and going to spend a lot more time trying to put up vlogs than I want to. And you understand, I've already spent 2 solid evenings of putting up vlogs getting nowhere. That's pretty frustrating, and some could call that a total waste of time, which it felt like. However, I looked at it the other way, which is each time I put it up to start uploading, I tidied up a bit more in my bedroom. So it's getting done. And by the way, for any of you who want to join in the 10-minute challenge, I know that I think it was Jen that wrote to me and said she didn't realize it was a daily thing. And I wrote back and said it doesn't have to be. But all I'm doing is putting the words up there on Facebook, every day, the 10-minute challenge. And, feel free to add your 10 minutes in as a comment, what you did in 10 minutes. Because, and preferably something that you don't normally do. If it's, don't say that it's housework if you normally would do housework. This is about something you're trying to get done. And I want to tell you something. It's really been very interesting, because I suppose at most I have spent half an hour so far in little 10-minute things. And there is a marked difference in my bedroom. An absolutely marked difference. Now, I've got a lot more to do, you understand, because this room definitely... Have you ever had a room that sort of got out of control? This room got out of control. And I haven't even got down to the, well, let's give it a really good clean type situation yet. I'm still trying to get rid of the crud. And last night I worked with a whole pile of papers. And it took me way longer than 10 minutes, but I refused to not do it, because I said I would. So, and tonight I will pay bills. But it was just like there was this mass of paper, probably, with magazines that had come in, and catalogs, and you name it, and then bills, of course. Gosh, don't we love those? But and I had a pile. Now, I actually do a thing with my bills. I don't know if you guys remember this from when I probably first discussed it, but it's probably worth mentioning at least once a year. I put all my bills on automatic payments. Now, you're saying that's not possible to do because they have different amounts coming in each month. But, there's sort of like an average. I mean, if your telephone averages at around whatever, I mean, I don't know what it is in the States, but I'm going to just say $20. Let's just say it averages about $20. Sometimes it's only 18, sometimes it's 22, whatever. So what I do is I work out, and not literally, I just sort of guesstimate what the average is, and then I top it up a bit. So let's say if I think my average is $20, I'll probably pay $22 a month. Now, what I like about that is two things. Number one is you don't have to worry about, did I pay my bills this month? Because automatically you do, because you put in an automatic payment every month. And secondly, if you're smart and get that figure right at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, December, you probably don't have to pay anything, because you will have saved up enough in that account to not have to pay anything. And I do that with each of my major accounts. Telephone, anything that I can pay on a monthly basis, my rates and taxes, whatever. So it's really amazing how well it works. Now, I know some of you are more challenged financially than others, and some of you are not even in a position of paying your own bills yet. But I will say that even if you're on a very tight budget, it's a really good thing to do. Now, if you're saying, well, Sal, I can't because, if I paid all my bills like that every month, I wouldn't have anything for myself, then you're living beyond your means. And that means you're in fantasy land. You know, you're living in Disneyland. You think you can afford all these things, but you actually can't because you can't pay them every month. So that is a very difficult reality for a lot of people. And quite honestly, I've gone through pretty tough times myself, and I have learned that I really do need to be aware. And especially at this time of the year when we've got Christmas coming up. So I wonder how you're all doing in terms of I just realized something. There are spots of blue sky out there. It's not just overcast, it's actually quite pretty. It's beginning to break up. You might not be able to see it from your angle, but I'm looking at it. There's a bright day. I like that. Yes, I was just wondering how everybody's doing in terms of Christmas, and I know we're going to have the usual discussion. And I know that I said to somebody the other day, they didn't mention Christmas to me. You know, I really have no wish to mention Christmas until I come back from the weekend at the end of the month. But I do know that some of you love Christmas and some of you don't. Some of you really enjoy all the baking and preparing and shopping because you probably got it finished already. And then another group of people who get totally stressed out and overwhelmed because of whatever reasons. And quite honestly, most people that I know who don't enjoy Christmas don't enjoy it because of the stress. Don't enjoy it because of the financial need, and they don't have enough to do what they would like to do. And that's ego stuff. Makes it very, very difficult for some people. And so basically we get caught in these things, and I wonder whether some of us get caught in it on a daily basis rather than just at Christmas, where you feel that you ought to be able to do more, or you ought to be able to give more, or whatever it is. And the truth is you can't. I saw a really nice quote today. One of the people I follow on Twitter is Dr. Wayne Dyer. Very early on in my life, he wrote his first book called Your Erroneous Zones, and I can remember reading that book cover to cover, and I still think it had a major influence on my life because I really understood for the first time as what it was he was getting at. And you know, we really do live our life in a strange way. And what the book does is it tells you the error of your ways, hence your erroneous zones. And it was really a delight when I read that quote this morning, and I can't remember it to quote it verbatim, but basically said, that freedom is when you release yourself from the prison of worrying about what other people think of you. And that made me smile this morning, because I kept thinking how many of us live our lives worrying about how we will be judged or what somebody else thinks or whatever. And I think one of the great things about growing older is that you don't care so much anymore. I know when you're young, you care a lot about what your friends think and what your family thinks and all this stuff, which is why it's so stressful. And quite honestly, you get to my age and you go, I really don't care what you think. Or as one writer, and I can't remember who it is, so I can't quote them properly, but this one writer said, what you think of me is none of my business. And I got a feeling it was Louise Hay or somebody. But anyway, it was just like, wow. Imagine being able to live your life like that. What you think of me is none of my business. Now, the interesting thing is there's a difference between that and being socially responsible. For example, you could take that saying and take it off the deep end. In other words, go, I've decided I'm not going to stop at stop signs, or I'm not going to obey the traffic lights because what you think of me is none of my business. Well, that's not what this is about. This is about being a law-abiding citizen, but not having your life ruled by the judgment of others. And I think to be totally oblivious to the judgment of others perhaps is equally wrong. That's just my personal belief. But it should be balanced. So if one or two people think badly of you, then one or two people are always going to think badly of you. From my experience. You'll be lucky if it's only one or two. But really, it doesn't matter what you do. You can turn yourself into a pretzel, and one or two people are not going to like you anyway, or be in judgment of you. So I look at the frustration of that and go, why would I bother? My job in life, as I see it, and forgive me on this one, but I think to a very large extent, my job in life is to make myself happy. Because when I'm a happy person, then people around me hopefully are happy too. I'm not waiting for other people to make me happy. I'm not saying, well, I'll be happy when. It's just like, okay, I will just do the best I can with what I've got and I'll be happy with it. And when I listen to people, so many people are not happy with their lives. They think they'll be happy when this happens, or when that happens, or when I earn more money, or when I get a better car, or when I do this and when I do that. The truth is, it's not true. It actually is not true. It's a really strange thing. Because you're always living in the present, and one of the things I really encourage you to do is learn to be happy in the present. Don't worry about the past, you can't change it. It was what it was, and you just cannot change it. Don't worry too much about the future, because you may never get there. So many people say to me, oh, well, I'm so scared, of this, that, and the other. And it's like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it to tomorrow, do you? I mean, I'd like to believe so, and I do some of my planning based on that possibility, but I don't know for sure. And if I'm going to live in misery now because of the potential of tomorrow, then that's going to be a miserable life. would rather live happily within my means now. And not regret that. So I would encourage all of you who are at a stage in your life where you can make day-to-day decisions, and you have years ahead of you. I would really encourage you to make some wise choices about maybe not always trying to get more. I would really look at how do I enjoy myself more, not get more. The old story, you've heard me say it time and time again. How do I create better memories, not more things? I you've heard me say this before, but I've got a house full of things I've collected over the years. But I'm also very, very rich because I also have a mind full of memories. I've traveled, I've laughed, I've dined with kings and princes literally, and met famous people, and played with kids, and I really have lived a very full life. Very full life. And one that most people would dream to live in some ways. I've been famous in my time. I have been interviewed on radio and television. I've been a celebrity. You know what I mean? It's like I've lived. And now I live, quite honestly, very simply, by comparison. Because I've also suffered some in my life. I've had that balance. I've had both. I've had extreme joy and extreme pain. I've had health and I've had illness. So I think that's a full life. And I'm very grateful for it. And so I look at the frustration of today, the last 2 days of not being able to put up the vlogs, and I go, in the big scheme of things, is it really important? No. Yeah, the delay in putting up the vlogs is going to upset a couple of people. Well, in the big scheme of things, so be it. I find it quite frustrating when I watch, for example, sometimes with Benji and Judy when they're traveling, and for whatever reason they don't get the vlog up at the time that they normally do. The number of people who are writing to complain, where's the vlog, where's the vlog? Now I know that in their heart they mean it in a kind way, in as much as, I live by these vlogs, which is a great compliment. But it's like, that it's just like their job is actually not to put up vlogs every single day. It may be what you're used to, but it's not their job. It's maybe your perception of their job, but it's not their job. And so when I read that, I just roll my eyes and just think, wow, the arrogance of that. But as I said, I also understand the compliment of it. So it goes the yin and the yang on both sides of that. So it's okay. So here I am, a very frustrated night, but which I try to keep balance with by doing little chores and little achievements, so that kept me balanced through the frustration. I also did what I could and then just gave up. Not forever, just for the night, because I wasn't getting anywhere. So if everything I have tried doesn't work, then let me get some sleep, which I did. And then this morning I got up early and started checking on the forums to try and see if anybody else had had the problem, and whether it was a problem just that I was having or it was endemic. And you know, those sort of things, because you're trying to find out what happened. So I think when you get frustrated, it's normal. The great poet Sal wrote a poem. I can't remember when I wrote these poems, long time ago. I was in my 20s, I think. But I know I wrote one on frustration, which I cannot quote off the top of my head. But I know the bottom line was about frustration. The bottom line was I didn't get my way today. Because really that's what creates frustration. If everything goes the way I want it to, I will not be frustrated. But if I'm trying to do something and something stops me from doing it, that creates frustration. Make sense? So the whole thing about frustration is you get it when you don't get your own way. That's pretty childish. And I wonder what you teach your children about that, those of you who have children. And you might want to give that some thought. And practice what you preach to your children. And I am not somebody who quits easily, so whatever this problem is, you know, I'm just going to keep working at it until it's fixed. And if it takes a couple of days, so be it. Is there a possibility I could lose some viewers on this? Maybe. I don't know. But all I do know is I'm doing the best I can with the knowledge I have. And that's good enough. So here I am at work. I'm hoping that you all have a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're listening to this. And don't get frustrated any more than you need to. In other words, if you feel yourself getting frustrated, remember that's a little bit childish. It just means you didn't get your way today. And you may want to think about, how am I going to balance the rest of my day? So Dear Mama Sal saying, bye-bye for now.